Okay, Year 8, today we are starting a new topic and it's called percentages, and you have done some of it last year. Certainly what we cover today you have already done before. It will be important for you to write down a few of the things that I say today and perhaps one of the 4 examples that I do, and then when you do the questions, come back to the video and have a look how to do it if you forget. Okay, so the first thing that some of you will remember, the term percent means per 100. So if we have, for instance, 60%, that means 60 over 100. And therefore, if we have 55%, that would mean 55 over 100. Okay, so you don't need to write that bit down. These important bits are coming now. So in the red writing, and I'm going to fill in the next bit. So press pause and write, to convert fractions to a percentage, so to convert a fraction to a percentage, we are going to multiply by 100 over 1. So this sentence you definitely want in there. I'd even put a lovely little something around it. So if you've got a highlighter, you need to write it and highlight it, or you can put a little bubble around like I did. Now, next to this, I've written like question 1. So today you're doing 5 questions, and these ones are like question 1. So you want to come back to what you've done here when you get up to them. So you're given something like a fraction 3 over 10. You have to multiply by 100 over 1. So we're going to do multiply by 100 over 1. Now that we've done that, we're going to cancel. So what's on the top that's on the bottom that we could possibly cancel? Remember, you can go across, or you could go like that, or you can go up and down, but you can't cancel 2 bottoms or 2 tops. So hopefully the zeros, they're the easy ones. If you've got a 0 on the top and a bottom, we can cancel them out. So we've got 1 and 1 on the bottom, which is just 1. So there's nothing more we can do. So the next step is to multiply across. So we're going to go 3 times 10 is 30, and 1 times 1 is 1, and we want to put 30. Now the big thing you want to remember with these is you're going to a percentage. So you need to make a percent sign on the end. All right, what if you get something a little bit harder? You're still going to start the same like this. And this time, you could do quick ones like that. But because you've got your wonderful calculator, I'm going to let you use it. So we're going to go 5 times 100 is 500. I'm going to go 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, now you could use your calculator from this spot. So I'm going to grab my calculator and show you on the screen. On clear. So what have I got? 500 divided by 8 equals 62.5%. Now I'm okay if you leave it as a decimal. All right, so 62.5% is completely fine. Now this one's a little bit different because it is a mixed fraction. This is 1 and 2/3. So you have to go back to the fractions that we've done and remember how we did it. So does anyone remember? Maybe we could pause and ask the class. So we go 1 times 3 here, and we're going to add 2. And it's going to be over whatever is on the bottom. We still have to multiply that by 100 over 1. So 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5, divided by 3. We're going to multiply that by 100. Okay, over the top we've got 500. We're going to divide that by 3, and I'm running out of room. So everybody put that into your calculator. We're going to go 500 this time. Oh, it's 500 again. Divided by 3, and we get 16.67%. I think it's, 16.66666. So let's always do 2 decimal places. So that answer is going to be 16.66. So by now you should have this bubble, and you should have at least one of these written down. If you don't, you need to come back a little bit later. Now that's actually the hardest one of the ones that we're going to do. Question 1, believe it or not. So these ones are like question 2, to convert decimals to a percentage. So up here we were fractions to a percentage. This one is decimals to a percentage. So a decimal to a percentage, we multiply, same thing, by 100. Oops. But in this case, it means move, who can answer? The decimal 2 spots to the right. Okay, that was a big bubble, that one. And this is like our question 2. Okay, so pause your button if you need to and put that one in. So we're going to go 0.23 times 100, and that just means skip, skip, and that would be 23%. So we're doing the same thing. To make anything a percent, you multiply by 100. So this one is going to still go 2 spots. And so we've got 8, 6, and 0. And that is meaning 860%. That's because 1 whole is 100. So 8 wholes is going to be 800. And then we've got the 60 on the end. All right, what about this one? Don't be tricked because of this, the way it looks. Still just go 2 spots to the right. So your answer is 4.8%. Okay, now you've got to write this out. Okay, so I don't want to just see these answers. You need to be writing these out. All right, hopefully you found question 2 a bit easier than question 1, as I thought it would be. Okay, what about percentages to fractions? So to do percentages, from percentages to fractions, we put percentage over 100, which is this bubble bit. So pause if you need to. This is like question 3. But then you also must reduce it to its simplest form. So we've got 30 divided by 100, so we can get rid of the zeros. So that as a fraction is 3 over 10. All right, let's try 45. So that will become 45. And the trick is if you get which way is which, this is like percent. Think of that as over, there's the 1 and the 2 zeros. So over 100. Okay, now you need to find something that goes into both of those. So we're going to go 45. 5 goes into both of those. So 45 we have goes 9 times. And 5 into 100 will go 20 times. Now to show that on your calculator, we can go 45 divided by 100. Now that's a decimal, that's not what we want. We wanted it to look like this because this is how do we make it fractions. To do that, we press this button here. So the button above the enter sign, which is the double arrows. And there you have it, 9 over 20. So you don't even need to use your brain about things that go in. So this one, 17, I'm trying to trick you. Why am I trying to trick you? Who can tell me? 17 is a prime number, so it doesn't go any lower than that. Okay, now if you were to try that on the calculator, 17 divided by 100 and you get a percent. Decimal. We don't like that. We want it in a fraction. So if you press the fraction button, it stays as 17 over 100 and you're finished. Okay, what about 120? That will be 120 divided by 100. The zeros can cancel. Then you've got 12 over 10. Hopefully you can see 2 goes into both of those. So 2 into 12 will go 6 times and 2 into 10 will go 5 times. And in your calculator, if you wanted it to do the work, we go 120 divided by 100 equals, and then we're going to press the arrows and we will get 6 over 5, which is what I got. All right, now that's like question 3. So last question you're going to do today is percentages to decimals. So we've gone fractions to percentages, decimals to percentages, then we just did percentages to fractions. Now we're doing percentages to decimals. All right, and this is like question 4. How do we get percentages to decimals? Wow, we like this one. This is good. We go have a think about, I'm going to come back to the expression here. What does that actually mean? It means 62 over 100. Remember, that was the first thing we did today. So if we used our calculator to work out how we did this, if we did 62 divided by 100, you would get 0.62. So how have I gone from 62% to 0.62? Who can tell me? Okay, hopefully someone said move decimal other way this time, 2 spots to left. And this is the fourth thing that's really important that you write down today. So the fourth bubble. Let's have a look at 2.5. So this would be 2.5, and we're going to go 2 spots to the left. So if this is it here, we're going to go 1 spot. Now that would be 0.25. We've only got 1 spot, so we're going to go another spot. So it's like we're going to put our decimal place there. There's a gap here, and then the 2 and the 5. Now in the gap, we put a 0. So your answer for this, and we want to start with a 0. This is this one here, so it's 0.25. Now if you get confused with that, you can go 2.5 divided by 100 equals 0. Oh, look, I did forget the 0. Did anyone yell at me? Oh, now I made a mess. Equals 0.025, which is what we got in our calculator. So our calculators are really useful this time. All right, 2 spots to the left. This is our decimal place in here. It's the whole number, 1, 2. Your answer should be 4.2 as a decimal, but let's check it out. 420 divided by 100 equals, look at that, 4.2. Okay. So I have written here, which is really important, your notes must contain these 4 explanations when you upload your photo today. So I would have the 4 bubbles and perhaps one of the explanations underneath. And then these are the questions you need to do. There's 4 questions in each of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is just 1 question by itself. Actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to write 5A. So these are every question. And that's all there is for today, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, every question, and question 5A.